Good evening, welcome to KBC. My name is Cynthia. Nyamai, World Cup, Eco KBC. I'm sure you've all been watching all the action, and Karen Kibet will be coming up in sports with the details for you. And also in news, I will be telling you about Kenya and the South Korea business ties and the deals that they have made today. That and more coming up shortly after the highlights. Going for the jugular. Election intrigues laid bare as hearing on the petition to remove IEBC commissioners begins. Death in the lake. Government to probe mysterious deaths of caged fish in Lake Victoria as farmers count losses.
The Republic of Korea, ladies and gentlemen, has more to expect by taking the vantage position of growing trade and investment ties with Africa.
And flush with cash. Kenya secures multi-trillion shilling deals with South Korea, with ICT winning big. Remember, we would like to hear from you. You can send in your comments on KBC Channel 1 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Now, Azimio la Umoja One, Kenya allied MPs stormed out of the parliamentary committee meeting investigating the proposed removal of 4 commissioners of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. Led by Minority Whip Junet Mohammed, the leaders walked out of the Justice and Legal Affairs Committee sitting after a ruling was made by a majority of the committee members upholding the jurisdiction of the committee to hear the matter. Lawyers representing the 4 commissioners had raised preliminary objections over the committee's authority to conduct the hearings.
The National Assembly Justice and Legal Affairs Committee commenced hearings on a petition seeking removal of 4 IEBC commissioners who differed with their chair Wafula Chebukati on the presidential election results. Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Coalition Party leadership attended the meeting to show solidarity with Deputy Chair Juliana Cherera and Commissioners Francis Madhenge, Irene Masit, and Justus Nyangaya.
The decision of this committee is likely to impact this country in a manner unknown as serious constitutional crisis. The 3 serving ones are leaving. The 4, there is a political intention to remove them. We are heading to a serious national crisis.
The Respondents' Council raised preliminary objections, claiming the Justice Legal Affairs Committee has no jurisdictional authority to preside over the matter.
On matters jurisdiction, this committee has immense jurisdiction to make determinations whether the petitions presented have a prima facie case, as you collectively highlighted earlier on.
One of the reasons why Parliament loses petitions all the time in court, Chair, is this issue of hurrying up the petition.
Thank you.
We're in a hurry to score politically. This is a political process, and we want to score politically, and we want to appease people that we have done our work. No, Chair. Let us adjourn the committee officially so that we can retreat and agree when to reconvene.
A ruling against the objection only prompting the Azimio la Umoja MPs to storm out of the meeting. The committee meeting, however, proceeded, hearing a petition by Reverend Dennis Ndwiga. Meanwhile, the National Hospital Insurance Fund NHIF board is set to approve the restructuring of its top management, a process that will see recruitment of 400 new employees to address staff shortage. The state medical insurer told the National Assembly's Health Committee the restructuring will also result in some offices being scrapped, employees redeployed, or declared redundant.
There is real reform needed in NHIF. NHIF is a government institution that historically has a lot of political baggage.
We want as a committee that before we are able to embark on our work, we need to understand all these organizations, how they are working, their operations, and get to know how things are working there, so that it makes it much easier for us as a committee to deliver on our mandate.
The NHIF told the committee, chaired by NDB's MP Robert Pukose, that reforms are being undertaken to align the fund with the Kenya Kwanza administration plan of attaining universal health coverage. Lishoke Washira, Prime Edition.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has said Kenya will continue partnering with United Nations agencies in the attainment of sustainable development goals. The Deputy President made the remarks when he hosted the United Nations Development Programme UNDP's Goodwill Ambassador, His Royal Highness Hakoon, at his office at Harambee House on Wednesday. During the courtesy call, the delegation discussed issues focusing on drought mitigation and humanitarian efforts around the ongoing famine, as well as sustainable solutions to agriculture and climate change, issues of entrepreneurship, innovation and women empowerment, and Kenya Kwanza's commitment to partnering with the two countries, as well as various UN agencies in the country in moving the population towards the attainment of the sustainable development goals.
Entrepreneurship and innovation, and also when it comes to local and just the empowerment of women, for instance, it's so strong and so evident.
So that's I think something that encapsulates that cooperation. I think that we can do on ecology, on creating livelihoods, on resilience. I just wanted to thank you also for the great hospitality that we have seen here in Kenya.
To our country, and we believe we'll be able to work together with the rest of the world to come up with long-term solutions on how to deal with the effects of climate change. As we speak today, our country is in a difficult situation. More than 4.3 million Kenyans face starvation, and we have a serious program of reaching out to the entire world and the Kenyan people to look for resources to feed our people.
Kajiado Governor Joseph Lenku has told off Kajiado County Assembly MCAs over their decision to shoot down 100 million shillings livestock offtake program budget amid mass animal deaths in the county. Lenku, who has defended the 100 million shillings budget, termed the move by the MCAs as cheap politics engineered by external forces to malign his name at the expense of helpless herders who continue to lose livestock due to the ongoing drought.
The planned livestock offtake program by the Kajiado County government was thrown into disarray after majority of MCAs declined to approve the budget on the supplementary budget. Instead, the MCAs approved 10 billion shillings supplementary budget, including their 750 million shillings ward development fund that will see 25 wards in the county receive 30 million shillings each. Kajiado Governor Joseph Lenku has reprimanded the MCAs, accusing them of cheap politics.
Kama assembly ingetoa uelekezi kwa maofisa wa serikali kusema hii mambo ya offtake ili ifaulu mfanye hivi na vile, tungefanya ama wangefanya. Kama wangetoa pendekezo ya kurekebisha namna hizo documentation imefanya, tungekubaliana. Lakini kuua mradi kama hiyo na kusema ward fund ni kitu gani? Ward fund wakati watu wanakufa, utaenda kufund nini?
The county boss argued that the 100 million shillings livestock offtake program budget was culmination of the agreement between the national government and the county governments across the country to reallocate funds to mitigate the effects of the ongoing drought.
Ingizia kwamba hakukuwa na msingi wa kubadilisha hiyo budget ni uongo. ni siasa inayochochoa kwingine ili eti kupiganisha governor na assembly ama ili governor asionekane amefanya kazi.
However, the MCAs who declined the budget claimed the off-take budget was not anchored by a law. In Kiambu, County Governor Kimani Wamatangi suffered a setback after Kiambu County Assembly rejected 5 out of 10 of his County Executive Committee members.
Members of this House had the leeway to deliberate upon each member, each nominee, and we are glad that we had a chance for each and every person.
The 5 who were rejected were said to lack the requisite authority and knowledge to man the dockets which they were nominated to run.
We'll now send the 5 names to the governor so that he can organize for swearing in ceremony for them, and then organize on how to do or what to do with the remaining 5 nominees, because at the end of it, definitely we'll have to have the 10 nominees come to this House.
Efforts by the leader of majority to convince members to approve all the CEC nominees fell on deaf ears, with members maintaining that meritocracy must stand.
Anybody who had a thought that this would be a rubber stamp assembly, that notion has been dispelled, and I'm very happy that we shall hopefully keep that momentum going.
Ben Chumba, Prime Edition.
Well, let's take a break, but when we come back, facilitation of homeschool from the government, that story and much more coming up shortly.
To Bashwai, and Bashwai was a little bit late there.
Yeah, you've got to give it to this man and how he handled it all the way into the midfield. Eden Hazard cut it back. Bashwai took a little time to control right foot. Oh, that's an easy. Tajon Buchanan.
All the donkey walk then.
It did, yes.
The final pass, really.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Thanks to Madison Better Life Medical Cover, they have access to the best care 24/7. Madison Group, usibahatishe.
transactions anywhere in the world with the NCBA Visa card and stand a chance to win big. Join the FIFA World Cup 2022 when you win an all-expenses-paid trip for you and your +1 to watch 2 games. Or win exciting weekly prizes that will make your FIFA viewing experience super duper. All it takes is a swipe or a tap to pay 2,000 Kenya shillings or more with your NCBA Visa debit or credit card. The more you swipe or tap to pay, the higher your chances of winning with 1 point for every 2,000 Kenya shillings spent. Don't miss out. NCBA. Go for it.
And Fernando Torres will step up, puts it into the net. It's 3-0 for Spain. And it's looking like it's going to be one of the biggest scoring nights in the game of football at the Qatar World Cup. As Spain keep on pressing, the goalkeeper is off his line. 2 defenders do not know in which direction the ball is in. And they allow Torres again to make a...
Welcome back. Now, Garissa town traders have appealed to the county government to move with speed and establish a proper drainage system to help solve the perennial flooding menace. The calls follow last weekend's heavy downpour that left traders counting losses after their wares were washed away by flood waters.
This is the state of drainage in Garissa town. Stagnant waters occasioned by the ongoing rains. Some of the drainage tunnels here are clogged due to improper dumping of garbage, leading to a poor flow of rainwaters. The state of affairs has ignited protests from traders who operate in the town.
Samaji alitoka nje mingi mpaka juu ya lami, alimagilo ameingia kwa store, ameingia kwa nyumba ya maduka. Sasa alileta hasara kubwa.
And following the traders' cry, the County Assembly Committee on Roads, Transport and Public Works was on the ground to assess the extent of the situation. The committee, led by its chairperson, Abdurrahman Bor, had a first-hand experience on the situation.
We visit after one of the members have raised a pertinent issue, and we were doing a physical assessment on the roads.
The waterways were blocked. The drainage system is not very good. They need to be expanded. They need to be maintained. They need to be cleaned.
The traders accused the county government of turning a blind eye to the town's drainage system for years now.
Tungeomba county government ipanue barabara na itusaidie hizi mamtaro ya kupeleka maji. Ndio ipeleki maji.
The committee left with the promise that the traders' woes will be addressed the soonest.
Facilitation of homeschooling by the government and tax exemption for parents with children with special needs are some of the recommendations proposed by parents and caregivers of children with special needs. The recommendations were arrived at during a 2-day workshop organized by the Kenya Institute of Special Learning, KISE. And as Zainab Said reports, the parents, however, call for inclusion during the policy making on matters of children with special needs.
Data by the government indicate only 300,000 children with special needs are enrolled in learning institutions, despite the number of kids being born with special needs growing day by day.
Mtoto kama huyu
hapati kudevelop kwa speed ya wengine. Ni kama anachelewa vitu nyingi, lakini anafika polepole kwa njia yake anafika. Sasa wakati wa kwenda shuleni unapata walimu ni kama hawasumbuki, ni kama ni kuwasumbua kumfunza huyu mtoto. Wanasema
nikafanywa assessment huko Jogoo Road, lakini wakaniambia hiyo area ninakaa hawaoni shule ya mtoto kama huyo. Mahali nilimpeleka wakasema wanatakanga mtoto mwenye anatembea. Na huyu wangu
nitaomba serikali kwamba iwape pesa ya kutosha mashule ili walimu wakuu pia waweze kushughulikia watoto.
To address this, parents and caregivers of special needs children are now recommending to the government homeschooling arrangement.
Watoto huwa wanapata shida shuleni kwa sababu moja huwa ni walimu ambao hawana ule ujuzi wa kumhudumia yule mtoto. Basi yule mtoto pale anakaa akiwa na shida, hana huduma, hapati huduma inayostahili, na pia walimu wale wengine ambao hawaelewi, hawana jambo, hawajui wasifanye nini.
At the closure of a 2-day event that brought together more than 500 parents and caregivers of children with special needs across the country, stakeholders noted the need of government to address the cost of medication for children with special need.
Kumlea yule mtoto, kumpeleka hospitali kufanya ni gharama, ambayo yule ni mtoto ataenda hospitali mara nyingi, atapata shida, itakuwa kuna safari nyingi za kwenda kurudi. Basi wao wafanyiwe kitu inaitwa tax exemption. Isiwe tu kwa yule mwenye ulemavu akiwa amefika miaka 18.
The stakeholders also recommended policymakers to address infrastructure challenges and ensure inclusivity of parents of children with special needs during policy making. For Prime Edition, I'm Zainab Said.
Make transactions anywhere in the world with the NCBA Visa card and stand a chance to win big. Join the FIFA World Cup 2022 when you win an all-expenses-paid trip for you and your +1 to watch 2 games. Or win exciting weekly prizes that will make your FIFA viewing experience super duper. All it takes is a swipe or a tap to pay 2,000 Kenya shillings or more with your NCBA Visa debit or credit card. The more you swipe or tap to pay, the higher your chances of winning with 1 point for every 2,000 Kenya shillings spent. Don't miss out. NCBA. Go for it.
The long-awaited event is finally here.
Qatar World Cup 2022, the much awaited.
We are set.
Catch all the moments as they happen live on KBC Channel 1.
We are ready. And we won't disappoint. Don't miss the Qatar 2022 World Cup, which is just a dial away. World Cup, Eco KBC.
Man to Bashwai, and Bashwai was a little bit late there.
Yeah, you've got to give it to this man and how he handled it all the way into the midfield. Eden Hazard cut it back, but Bashwai took a little time to control right foot. Oh, that's an easy. So John Buchanan.
It did all the tanky work then.
It did, yes.
The final pass, really.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
Madison Better Life Medical Cover. They have access to the best care 24/7. Madison Group. Usibahatishe.
Make transactions anywhere in the world with the NCBA Visa card and stand a chance to win big. Join the FIFA World Cup 2022 when you win an all-expenses-paid trip for you and your +1 to watch 2 games. Or win exciting weekly prizes that will make your FIFA viewing experience super duper. All it takes is a swipe or a tap to pay 2,000 Kenya shillings or more with your NCBA Visa debit or credit card. The more you swipe or tap to pay, the higher your chances of winning with 1 point for every 2,000 Kenya shillings spent. Don't miss out. NCBA. Go for it.
Welcome back. It's now time for business. Kenya and South Korea have negotiated to enter into a free trade agreement to boost trade between the two nations. This as Nairobi and Seoul have agreed to conclude a trade and investment promotion framework that is expected to address trade barriers to increase trade and strengthen bilateral ties between Kenya and South Korea.
Kenya-South Korea trade is valued at 60 billion shillings, with the trade in favor of the Asian nation. Last year, Kenya shipped goods worth 3 billion shillings to South Korea, with the consignments mainly comprising of horticulture products and tea, while importing 57 billion shillings worth of goods from South Korea. To correct the trade imbalance, Kenya has started negotiations with South Korea to enter into a free trade agreement that is expected to see Kenya increase its exports to South Korea.
ACFTA business has started ushering the first steps in the long journey to a stronger trading continent, which comes with so much potential for our international partners like this great country of Korea.
This is as the two nations are inching closer to conclude a trade and investment promotion framework that will be signed on 31st January of next year. Under the framework, a Kenya International Trade Agency office and warehouses will be established in Seoul and Busan.
The Republic of Korea, ladies and gentlemen, has more to expect by taking the vantage position of growing trade and investment ties with Africa.
Among other economic agreements, the two nations have agreed on joint investment ventures at the Konza Technopolis, Dongokundu, Naivasha, Sagana, and the Nairobi International Financial Center. Ndusamo Kami for Prime Edition.
Global warming and poor fishing methods are threatening to kill the lucrative fishing industry around Lake Victoria. Kisumu and Homa Bay counties are the worst hit, with thousands of fish worth millions of shillings dying in the last 2 months. To address these deaths, the government has formed a team to investigate the cases and propose remedial measures.
The last 2 months have been tough for farmers in Lake Victoria. Thousands of caged fish have died, dampening the spirit of fisher folks in the counties of Kisumu, Homa Bay and Migori counties. This is the second time the strange phenomenon is happening, with the first reported case of mass fish deaths reported in 2018.
For the last few weeks, our fish farmers, the cage fish farmers, have been losing their catch. I think now around $1 billion has been lost, and also jobs have been lost.
Experts are blaming the deaths on suffocations as a result of warm top water mixing with bottom cold water in the lake, which usually has low oxygen due to changing currents.
There are many families who depend on it for sending kids to school, for daily life.
And I'm sure that when these things happen, it is even more important to understand how useful this lake is to us.
Fish traders in the lake have exacerbated the situation due to use of substandard cages, installing cages in shallow waters, and using substandard fish pellets. The government has formed a team to investigate the cases and craft remedial measures. The technical team will be led by Principal Secretary in the Ministry of Mining and Blue Economy.
We came here as a ministry, first of all, to do a fact-finding mission, but also to assure them that the government is together and is considering a lot of other interventions to support them.
Experts are now urging the government to enforce feed standards and crack the whip on the uncontrolled cage fishing in the lake. Terry Njenga, Prime Edition.
The New Kenya Cooperative Creameries is urging the government to activate the Strategic Food Reserve revolving fund to enable it mop up excess milk from the market during the ongoing short rains. New KCC Managing Director Nixon Sigei says the processor is targeting to replenish the milk powder in the Strategic Food Reserve during the short rains to stabilize milk prices.
KCC is urging the government to activate the Strategic Food Reserve dairy funds that has been dormant for 2 years to facilitate farmers' payments. Cooperative Cabinet Secretary Simeon Chelugui says the government will continue with the modernization of the new KCC to make the government-owned processor competitive.
What we are processing now is a third of what is being utilized or used by milk hawkers. We can mop up that, and that can only happen by modernizing our plants.
The modernization program will see the upgrading of all farmers' cooperative cooling plants to minimize post-harvest losses.
Coolers that are coming in, the farmers now will be able to give out their surplus milk, and it will be kept overnight, especially for the evening milk. And then that, once in bulk, can be sold to a processor. And that will help and go a long way to reducing the amount that is sold informally.
The new KCC has been urged to diversify its product portfolio to increase its market share and increase farmers' earnings.
Biggest challenges that the dairy farmers across the country today are facing is the high cost of animal feed, and that is what is actually threatening the dairy industry. But we are happy that with the support of an intervention by government, we have put in place programs that will go a long way in actually reducing the cost of animal feed, so that we are able to be competitive, especially within the region in terms of our dairy products.
Benson Rioba reporting for Prime Edition.
Thank you, Benson Rioba, for that story. Now, poor training and outdated curriculum are some of the challenges contributing to the poor standards of buildings in Kenya. This, combined with professional negligence, corruption, and the use of substandard materials, have led to a spike in the number of buildings that have collapsed in the country. The Engineers Board of Kenya now wants institutions of higher learning to get their courses accredited and streamlined to keep up with the changing trends in the industry.
The engineering industry in Kenya is facing a crisis occasioned by the high number of buildings that are collapsing, leading to loss of lives and dwindling confidence in local professionals. This is having a major impact on Kenya's quest to sign the Washington Accord, which seeks to standardize the training and accreditation of engineers globally.
We are drawing attention to the engineers in the industry, in the academia, so because the whole journey will include everybody, including universities, including engineers in practice, and including our own institution of engineers of Kenya, the consulting arm of ASEC, and us as a board.
The Washington Accord, which is an initiative of the International Engineers Alliance, is expected to unlock more international jobs for Kenyan engineers through market linkages.
And therefore they need to be trained so that they can become certified, and we have established those particular frameworks on how we can mentor these young young people into becoming professional engineers, and not just professional engineers in that aspect. We're also looking at ethics and other soft skills that are necessary for the implementation of their cause as they carry out their duties.
The Engineers Board of Kenya says to help Kenya ratify the accord, there is need to streamline training and accreditation of engineering professionals in the country.
When they finish their university, they go out, they practice for 3 years, and then they become professionals and start practicing. So you can see university plays a very big role because it molds the younger life of an engineer.
EBK says the concentration right now is on the foundation of learning, including the competence-based curriculum, where the regulator has submitted proposals to adjust learning for children interested in the field.
The industry is really collaborating with the academia so that the review of their curriculum should be able to reflect what the industry is experiencing as of now.
The engineers note, as technology progresses, the job market requires a different skill set, and thus there must be periodic adjustments to suit these needs.
We are being mentored by the Board of Engineers of Malaysia and the Institution of Engineers of Pakistan. We have held 6 sessions. We have agreed on the roadmap.
EBK Chair Engineer Erastus Mongera says academic cooperation is a key requirement to help Kenya achieve the Washington Accord status. Hibak Said for Prime Edition.
Airtel, the most affordable network.
Football extravaganza, Qatar World Cup 2022. We bring you all these and much more. Catch all the moments live as they see.
Airtel, the most affordable network.
KBC.
Make transactions anywhere in the world with the NCBA Visa card and stand a chance to win big. Join the FIFA World Cup 2022 when you win an all-expenses-paid trip for you and your +1 to watch 2 games. Or win exciting weekly prizes that will make your FIFA viewing experience super duper. All it takes is a swipe or a tap to pay 2,000 Kenya shillings or more with your NCBA Visa debit or credit card. The more you swipe or tap to pay, the higher your chances of winning with 1 point for every 2,000 Kenya shillings spent. Don't miss out. NCBA. Go for it.
Switzerland.
Welcome back. Now, majority of maize and wheat flours sold in Kenya are not fortified, dealing a major blow with Kenya's war on malnutrition. The most affected are small-scale millers, who form the majority of millers in rural areas where cases of malnutrition are high. The government has now partnered with Sanku Technology to help drive the fortification of maize and flour among small and medium millers, as envisioned in the Kenya National Food Fortification Program.
The World Bank says malnutrition is one of the world's most serious but least addressed growth challenges affecting most developing nations. Statistics from the Integrated Food Security show that the nutrition situation has significantly deteriorated in Kenya compared to last year. The sale and consumption of unfortified flour in Kenya have direct implications for the government's food fortification and safety agenda. In 2012, the government amended the Food, Drugs and Chemical Substances Regulations to include the mandatory fortification of maize and wheat flour with specific vitamins and minerals. The regulation has faced major enforcement challenges. However, vulnerable families suffering from malnutrition can breathe a sigh of relief after the government rolled out a plan to step up efforts to curb malnutrition in the country. The government has partnered with Sanku Technology Company to add micronutrients in maize flour milled by small and medium-scale millers.
The response of our program is been very positive. Millers want to fortify. They want to do this. Unfortunately, there is an additional cost in the past that kept them from being incentivized to really do it. So our business model is not just about technology. Our business model is about reducing the cost of doing this job, and we've been able to achieve that.
As a government, we really want to see ourselves moving to the next level in the space of reducing the levels of malnutrition in this country. If the KDHS, that is anything to go by when the results are out, we'll be able to know how much we've already achieved.
The government further says the Kenya Bureau of Standards will embark on a major crackdown to root rogue millers who are flouting fortification regulations.
Ending malnutrition in the country, we have to refocus our efforts towards production and also looking at the end, which is the last mile distribution.
But to accelerate this and to really keep the gains, we need concerted effort. Partnerships are everything, and as been indicated by Sanku, they need to work with partners to ensure that the gains are much more impactful.
Frederick.
Lukenya is a unique destination, blending an offering of hiking, sightseeing, team building, wildlife and sports tourism. The hilly Lukenya is home to antelopes and is a motocross favorite for those living within and without the Nairobi metropolitan area. Tonight on Magical Scenes, we feature the magical Lukenya.
Welcome to Lukenya, Machakos County. This is an area that has gained popularity owing to the adrenaline motorsports such as the all-terrain quad bikes. Many throng to this area both on weekdays and over the weekend for motocross activities. While here, you can also engage on activities like swimming, rock climbing, and camping. On this particular visit, however, we focus on birding, wildlife, and team building activities. This hilly terrain dotted with rocks and shrubs provide a conducive environment for antelopes and other wildlife, more so herbivores, especially in the green open spaces. In addition, there are a number of bird species in Lukenya. This group got our attention. It is the fun activities they were engaging in, given this epic environment that drew us closer. The antelopes were comfortably roaming around the grounds. The birds were in search of food, and the sound system did not disappoint for those passionate about music and dance.
The place is so accommodating. It has a serene environment. The trees are nice. And the staff as well, they are welcoming.
We decided to bring our team here for team bonding. After a long year of work, it is important that we get to know each other as teams, as different departments. People from different departments come to hang out together and bond together in this team building here today.
We are here together, having a good time, having fun with my team and the other teams that we work with.
Kenya, sitting on the foothills of scenic hills, offers an ideal retreat.
We came to bond as a team, as a family, and since all of us are young people, it's a great chance for us, to grow to the next level. Otherwise, it's been a great experience and all that, and we are here for the day.
The environment quite cool, is okay. It's favorable for us because it has enough space for us. We're able to go and maybe jump around, go different places without restriction.
Guided evening hikes are encouraged, while on evening strolls you could experience the magical African sunsets. Irene Mchuma Udim, Magical Sense in the county of Machakos.
Thank you very much for keeping it KBC Prime Edition. Let's now delve into matter sports. My name is Karen Kibet. Currently, the Group G fixture, the late night fixture for tonight is going on. A Group G fixture between Brazil and Serbia is currently going on. 22 minutes into time, and it's still at a stalemate, 0-0. I can't wait to see how this particular match will turn out to be. So many surprises in this particular World Cup, but I do hope Brazil will win this one because that's the team I'm supporting this 2022 FIFA World Cup. So we will definitely bring you the news of how this particular match will turn out tomorrow. So stay tuned. So let's delve into the sports news for tonight, where the Sports Cabinet Secretary Ababu Namwamba says the government is taking firm measures to protect and uphold the integrity of athletics and sports in general. In a press release on Thursday, Namwamba said the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Sports and Arts is working together with Athletics Integrity Unit and WADA to bring the vice to an end. He further added that the ministry is exploring all available options to ensure that Kenya is removed from the list of Class A doping nations. He also called on coaches, athletics institutions to work together to eradicate this menace that threatens the place of Kenya in international athletics. The CS is in contact with the World Athletics President, who has urged him not to ban Kenya, giving assurance that the government is doing all it takes to end doping in Kenya. Now, Namwamba conveyed this assurance in a letter to Lord Sebastian Coe, the President of the World Athletics Federation. Now to matters World Cup, Switzerland Brel Embolo scored the only goal against Cameroon, the country of his birth, in a hard-fought World Cup Group G opener. The indomitable Lions' next game against Serbia will be pivotal if they are to stand any chance of becoming the first Cameroon team to progress beyond the group stage since 1990. The FIFA World Cup finals are being broadcasted live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 and all KBC radio stations.
Embolo refused to celebrate when he finished over slick Swiss attack shortly after the half-time. Embolo moved to Switzerland from Cameroon with his family as a 6-year-old and pledged his allegiance to the European nation after being granted citizenship in 2014. The indomitable Lions were unfortunate to lose after an enterprising display at the Al Janoub Stadium in Qatar. Victory was vital for Switzerland as both sides still have to face Brazil and Serbia in the group.
The right side, here comes the cross, and that is an easy touch into the net by the man who was largely expected to be doing that, Brel Embolo.
The indomitable Lions have now lost 8 successive games at the World Cup finals. Their next game against Serbia will be pivotal if they are to stand any chance of becoming the first Cameroon team to progress beyond the group stage since 1990.
To win it for
Uruguay and South Korea played to a barren draw in their World Cup opener in Group H in Qatar. In front of a vibrant crowd at the Education City Stadium, the South Koreans frustrated Uruguay but did not create many clear-cut opportunities. Uruguay and South Korea are in Group H alongside Portugal and Ghana. The matches are being broadcasted live on KBC Channel 1.
Between themselves in that area of the pitch. Sent forward by Jimenez, lovely stuff, and that was Valverde in the penalty area. Kim Moon-won whipping it in, oh, it's a great opportunity. Can Uruguay do with this one? They can almost take the lead, is what they can do with it. Yeah. Godin sends it long. Now it's Nunez looking to get up to full speed. Suarez in the middle. Support arriving. Darwin Nunez! Looking to finally impose himself on the match. Federico Valverde goes for goal! So close! Uruguay hit the post.
Cristiano Ronaldo became the first player to score at five FIFA World Cups as Portugal began their campaign with a thrilling 3-2 victory over Ghana. Ronaldo was playing for the first time since his controversial television interview last week and his subsequent release by Manchester United following the comments. That's all we had for you tonight. I'll definitely see you tomorrow with more sports news. But don't forget that Brazil and Serbia are currently playing. It's at the 27th minute, and it's still at 0-0. So I cannot wait to see who will emerge victorious after 90+ minutes in this particular fixture. I'm rooting for Brazil. I hope you're also rooting for Brazil. That's all from me. Have yourself a peaceful night. My name is Karen Kibet. I now hand you back to my colleague, Cynthia Nyamai.
Thank you, Karen. I'm also rooting for Brazil. Karen is always right, so I'm rooting for Brazil. Well, from me and the rest of us in the studio, we wish you a very good night, and you keep it here for all the football action. Have a good night.